Is there anything the state can do at this point to prevent Wayne Chapman from walking?
We now have a Supreme Judicial Court decision that basically says that Wayne Chapman's rights under the current law would permit him to be released. That obviously speaks to current law, which is obviously a big part of the problem. We're going to file legislation later this week to do two things. Number one, for serial child rapists to significantly expand the penalties associated with that. And number two, to change the way this process works. The fact that if you can get two forensic psychologists to basically say this guy's no longer a threat, not because they believe somehow his state of mind has changed, but because they consider him to be no longer physically able to be a danger to society. I mean, I just don't think that's a high enough standard, and we're going to propose additional review processes associated with this as part of our legislation, and I hope the legislature acts quickly on it.
Have you talked to them? Do you think there's buy-in there?
Pardon me?
Have you talked to lawmakers about this? Do you think there's buy-in there?
I've talked to some lawmakers about it. Certainly a lot of lawmakers have expressed concern, not just to us, but to a lot of people in the public have expressed concerns to their lawmakers about this. And then look, it's a legitimate issue. The fact that somebody who has admitted to somewhere between 50 and 100 rapes of a child, I mean, this guy should never get out. And I think it's unfortunate, disgraceful in some respects that we find ourselves in this position. But if we don't learn from this experience and make adjustments so that it can't happen in the future, shame on us.
Is the hope that the legislation will be effective in the Chapman case or in cases going forward?
We won't be able to make it effective in the Chapman case, but we will be able to make it effective with respect to cases going forward, and I think that's equally important.
Up in Salem, the records of a bench conference in that trial with Judge Feely and the drug dealer indicated that the judge would have sent that guy to prison, to jail, if he was a citizen, but based on his immigration status, opted to let him go. Do you think that was...
Look, I said from the minute I read about the Feely decision in this particular case that I thought it was outrageous. Every element of it I think is outrageous. And I and many others, including the Speaker of the House, have told the Supreme Judicial Court, which is supposed to be the overseer of the judiciary, to take a good hard look at this case and to make a decision with respect to how to respond to it. But as far as I'm concerned, the fact that that Feely did not give this drug dealer, this death merchant, time in jail because he wasn't supporting an addiction and because he was in fact here illegally is just bizarre. And I really hope the SJC takes seriously the concerns that many of us have raised about this.